All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I got to keep it Midwest, y'all. Okay, look, all the way from Who Dey Nation, the Natty, Cincinnati, y'all. Okay, come on now. Y'all, look, y'all better work with me, okay? Please put your hands together for Miss Dominique Turner.
Hey, hello. Who day? Who day? And one more time, who day?
You better tell them now, okay? From the Natty, one of my. Ooh, look, we didn't already talked about that, but man, look, we gonna have some fun, y'all, because in case y'all don't really know, like people from Cincinnati, Midwest, we just do it a little bit different. Sorry for my West Coast people and my East Coast people, down South people, but that's just what it is. Okay. But I am very happy to be talking to you today. You are the founder of Coco Books. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we even get into that, I was reading something in your bio, and you are part of a group of moms who teamed up to present the Dear Daughter Children's Book collaboration. So can you tell us all about it, and how did you all get started?
So Dear Daughter, A Celebration of Love is the children's book that me and six other women are a part of. We are all girl moms. We got together. Actually, Chandra Scott, she's also another author and business owner. She posted on Facebook a couple months ago saying that she kind of wanted a collaboration of girl moms to write inspirational letters to our daughters and other girls around the world. And I saw all that and I said, you know what, that would be really cool. And so I applied for it, and I was one of the people selected, and we got together and we each individually wrote our own letters to our daughters, or we were writing to our daughters, but also little girls all over the world. And so it's like an anthology, so each of us have our own letters of what we want to say to our daughters as well as other little girls. And so that's how we got started. A series of Zoom conversations and group chats to kind of come together with this one mission to inspire girls. And that's how we got started. And it's been smooth sailing. It's been a fun project to work on.
Okay, all right. Look here. Now, let me just say, I think that's very, imperative. I'm going to use a big word here, people. Yes, that means important. Yes. Okay, this is mean forefront. Well, okay, I'm just going to say important there. It's very important. All right. It's very important, that I think we do things like this, especially, I'm just going to say it, for, girls of color. I know we were reading I was reading a little bit in your bio and stuff, and I know you were talking about certain TV shows that can sometimes present black girls, I'm just going to say it, in a certain light. And while it may not always be the extreme negative, it's not always, a true testament to, who we are, especially black girls as people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So let me just say, I think that's marvelous. I think that's wonderful. We will talk a little bit about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But like that is something that we need, and for like a group of moms to come together, all girl moms, and write letters, not only to your daughters, but, daughters of other people all around the world. Like, look, I know this is what social media may be showing you. I know this is what TV may be showing you. I know what you may come across in these timelines or whatever, TikTok videos, whatever. Doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be. So there it is. Okay. Now, staying in that same vein now, okay. Now, in your opinion, like what narratives do you see society, TV shows, social media pushing to our young girls of color, and how can, the Dear Daughter Children's Book Initiative change that?
There is, whether it's on TV, social media, as well as at school and the workplace, there's a pattern of this negativity that comes with being a black girl or black woman. So, how they talk, that's being policed, and that's being, you have to come off a certain way, or you're considered the angry Black little girl or Black woman. I experienced that before I stopped working, a 9 to 5 and started working from home. But then, and I worked in youth development. So I was seeing it kind of like in a corporate level, but I was also seeing it with my, little girls from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, where, they were, oh, this person has an attitude, or this person has this, or their hair. Not normalizing that your hair, the way it grows out of your scalp, is beautiful. And so, and also to just kind of however you want to wear your hair. If you decide you want to relax, if you decide you want to wear it natural, if you want to wear it in braids, if you want to lock it up, there are just things that girls don't feel comfortable to do, because there's always something that someone has to say because they don't understand Black hair. So there's this thing where they always have to worry about their appearance instead of just being able to just exist and be them. And that's hurtful. And so I think a lot of what you'll hear and read within Dear Daughter is moms telling these little girls to love who they are, to not allow other people's opinions of them to stop them from pursuing what they want, to not allow people's opinions to stop pursuing them, or stop them from pursuing the things that they're passionate about, or to express themselves the way they want to express themselves. There's a lot of, just self-love and confidence and just, I don't know, just a lot of love just being poured into those pages. So all of those things that those girls battle every single day are things that we were writing to our little girls about. So,
look, let me just say, and you hit on a number of things, from hair to clothes, even just to gestures that people may take to be, well, people always take them wrong, and they always take them to be the most extreme of things. When, let's just keep it real. Sometimes expression is just how we look. We Black. Sometimes things gonna get loud when we sitting up here talking. Hands gonna be moving. Be a little spicy. Yeah. Might be a little. Yes, it's gonna be a lot of this. And it's gonna be a lot of that. But because you see that, don't interpret that to be something of the negative, because I find it funny, and I'm just going to put it out there, when other cultures traditionally speak very loud and aggressive, that it's seen as something totally different. Oh, well, you know what? That's just how they are in their culture, and, don't worry about it. But when we do something, especially Black women, and as you said, look, it's all in the workplace. I've seen it. You've seen it. You've been, unfortunately, you had to be privy to some of that as well. Mm-hmm. But it's really sad how they want to police us, And I mean, like you just said, everything from the hair to the way you dress, it's just really sick. Personally, it's sickening, and who are you? Because isn't life about expression? How can I truly express myself when you want me to fit into this box? That's not my box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I hear you now. Come on now, y'all. Change that narrative. Change it now. Okay. No, look, I love it. I love it. And pretty much as I said before, there are certain TV shows and things out here, even though they may have Black main characters, the way society may see us, oh, well, all Black girls are like that, or, all Black girls are this, or all Black girls are that. And just to veer off for a second, I can remember when President Obama and his two daughters, I can only imagine the pressure. I can only imagine it. I know it will probably blow my mind, some of the things they had to hear and do, just to be considered normal. And even now, all these years later, how are they now? And you never really know the after effects, of these things until years later, when it comes out in an attitude, or it comes out in physical appearance. It may come out in dress. It may come out many different ways. So look, Black women, y'all beautiful, y'all strong. We love y'all. Keep doing what you do. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, Man, let's move on. As I said before at the opening, you are the founder of Coco Books. Tell us
Yes.
all about it and how and when did you start?
So actually, Cocoa Books is still in its infancy. I just started it in 2021. It kind of started to develop shortly after the pandemic, but I didn't really start getting serious about it until 2021. And so essentially, Cocoa Books, like I said, it's very, very brand spanking new. I'm actually still in the process of kind of getting like a board together to kind of help drive our mission. But my vision for Cocoa Books is a team of writers, illustrators, educators, parents, business owners to help publish these books, children's books that have quality representation of our kids. So, what started that was shortly after the pandemic started, I was tutoring two of my closest friends' sons. One was in the first grade at the time, the other one was in the second grade at the time. They were struggling with adjusting to education or school on virtual, learning. And one of the things that they were struggling with was reading. And so I didn't want them to fall behind. I've worked with kids for 9 years, and I've always had a passion for literacy and writing. And so, I just jumped on the opportunity to be able to help them. And a lot of the books that I saw that kind of worked with them were words that are books that had rhyming schemes and that were colorful and things that they liked to that they could easily repeat. And so I said, a lot of them were like Dr. Seuss books, and I was trying to get away from that. So I was trying to find books that were like that, but had representation of them. I wanted them to see themselves in those pages that were grade or age appropriate or that fit their reading level. There are amazing authors of color that are writing amazing children's books, but I wanted them specifically for those grade levels that were not necessarily ready for those more advanced children's books, if that makes sense. And so I said, I want to create those things. I don't really see much of that, so I want to create those things, but I can't do it by myself. So I want a team of other writers, other educators, illustrators, artists, business owners, parents, book owners, librarians to kind of help say these are things that we notice a pattern of these things helping or that are popular within our students, and they kind of help direct the vision and the mission of Cocoa Books. So essentially our mission is to create quality books and learning resources that help inspire our kids, show representation, and also inspire other creatives to do the same. So very brand spanking new. I'm super excited to get started and to develop a team of those people to help, provide those books for our kids because, it's definitely important right now.
Look, important's not even a word. It's man, it is key, very key. Like, I mean, we really do need that. And as you said, especially, kids of the younger age. So we're talking anywhere between ages 0 to 5, 0 to 6 or what have you. Yeah. So those are very critical and representation. You hit it on it earlier. Now I'm going to hit you with the question. So in your opinion now, why do you think or why do you feel representation matters or is very important when it comes to telling our stories in books, TV, media, what have you?
I can answer this question all day long. I've talked to plenty of my other children's book author friends about this all over TikTok in the last few weeks. And essentially what it boils down to is, the stories that our kids are reading, whether it be about making career choices or just kind of a day in the life of a kid, you want to be able to see yourself within those pages. So I did not grow up having those books at my fingertips where I saw kids with curly hair like mine or skin like mine telling me that, oh, you can be a doctor or you can do this, or, even just the simplest stories of a little girl who learned how to bake cookies or whatever. If I'm only seeing one kind of character, then that's an issue. I should be able to see those characters in my kids, and whoever else should be seeing themselves within those stories as well. And so what that tells our kids is that they can do those things as well. It's one one thing to have a book telling you that you can do anything that you want to do with just one type of, person. But then there's a difference in that versus seeing having a little boy or a little girl read that and seeing that person, that character, that main character with the same skin color. Because, but then, I was asked this question, if representation, because there's this huge topic on discovering that some of the most popular children's books with Black characters are actually written by white authors. And so some people are like, well, what's the big deal? Don't we want representation? Don't we want them? And my answer to them is yes, but here's the thing. Representation matters to me on the pages, but also behind that pen and behind that computer. I can't tell my daughter that she can be an author if she's not seeing other authors that look like her. They have to look like me. They have to look like her, so she can be like, hey, well, I want to be an author. I mean, she's able to see her mom. Her mom is an author. That's why it matters. And then the other part to that is, how are our kids being represented in those books? Some of those illustrations do not depict our kids in the best way. And so you have hair that doesn't look like our hair. You have, facial expressions and features that don't look like our facial expressions and features. Some of those illustrations are scary. And so so that's why it matters. It's like, on one hand, you can argue that whole, well, we want these other authors who aren't people of color to represent, but at the same time, we're also ignoring the fact that Black authors are not getting their recognition when it comes to these big publishing companies. So you guys are kind of taking our voices as well. So that's a loaded question for me, and I can talk about that all day long. And so I do take it personal as a mom, as a children's book author. Those things, representation matters on those pages, but it definitely matters just as much on behind the pen and behind the computer. So
I'm just gonna say this. You hit the nail on the head. Well, no, I mean, let's really talk about it for a second. There's nothing wrong, as we said. Some of our most famous books that have Black characters in them were written by a white person. And that's not to say that, hey, well, don't we want our story told? Yes, we do want our story told, but we want the story told by us. Not by someone else.
Because we had those experiences.
It was our experience. Mm-hmm. So how can you take my experience when you've never experienced what I've been through? I've only told you a story, and you've taken it out of like pretty much what I told you, and you made it into something totally different. As you said, even like the illustration sometimes. And you are correct. The illustration can be as scary as the story at times. You're like, whoa, like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Huh? No.
Yeah.
And, you want the story told by us. It's our story. Let us tell the story. We're not going to tell it. Well, no. We're going to tell it the way it should be told. Because sometimes people who are not us like to change the narrative. And they'll change it to something totally different. And sometimes we get caught up on optics too much. Like, hey, they got a Black character in there. Let me read about this. That you totally forget everything else. Like, hey, you know what? They're telling the story wrong. This is how the story should be told. So,
I could talk about that all day long. And yeah.
But no, look, if it's something that you're passionate about and, it's true, then yes. We need to talk about it. We need to speak on it. So that's what it is now, okay? Now, I want you to talk to me about a story that you wrote and you ended up publishing it and making it into a book. The story of Awaiting Baby.
Yes. So, Awaiting Baby is my first baby book or children's book. And I wrote it, I actually wrote it for my husband when I was pregnant with my daughter. My husband was really big on wanting to connect with our daughter. And so you see parents or grandparents who kind of talk to the belly, and they might sing or they just might say some random things. And I was like, wouldn't it be really cool for him to have something that was just between the two of them, for him to read to her, and it was just between the two of them. And so I started writing. It actually started out as a poem, and it just kind of formed into this I don't know, like this, a poem. That's essentially what it was. And so he read it to her. He had it on a lined piece of paper, and he read it to her almost every night. And he said, you know what, it'd be really cool for other parents to have this as well. Other parents and grandparents to have this as well, to read to their unborn baby while they're awaiting their arrival. And I said, oh, okay, no, that actually not a bad idea. So he encouraged me to write it. And so I was like, are you sure? Like, this was your thing with Avon, are you sure? And he said, yeah, do it. So I found an illustrator. I kind of told her the story, and she was, really excited to work on it with me. And then that's when Awaiting Baby, was published in May of 2020. So, shortly after the pandemic happened, my daughter was born in October, right before the pandemic happened. So, I had nothing but time, in that time where, you can't, go out and do anything. So I used that opportunity those next few months to pour into Awaiting Baby. So, I actually have a copy of it right here.
Okay. Show us that now. Oh, okay. Look at that.
Yes.
Now, seriously, was he sitting with a guitar trying to like read to the baby? Okay.
No, you know what? That's one of the funny things. Like, whenever I do like an event, and they always ask, because I did want the characters to look like us, and she nailed my husband. Like, that's literally my bald head, beard, everything. But no, he doesn't know how to play the guitar. That was something that she kind of took, like, her, her artist expression, and said, hey, like, I think it'd be really cool if there was like some music to go along with it. Like, maybe I can have him playing the guitar. And I said, go ahead. I love the illustrations of it, but no, that's one of the things that they like to joke with us about when we do like events and things. They're like, can he really play the guitar? You guys should really recreate this image. And I'm like, he can't, but
like, no. Like, we want a happy child. We don't want the child. Hey, look at it now. Stop that. Okay. No, I love it. Like, when I read, the whole story behind it, I was like, yes, she has to talk about this. Because, these are things that, yes, they do go on, but, you never really hear people putting them in a book, especially a children's book or what have you. So, look, I love it. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoever the illustrator is, thank you too. Okay, there it is. All right.
Yes.
So, now, I have to ask, when you are not creating, what types of things do you find time for as far as self-care, and how does that, inspire you to go forward and to create new things?
So as of late, I've really been trying to carve out time to read more. That is, of course, as a writer, it's a given. Like, yeah, of course you should be reading, but like, I've really been intentional about, I'm going to read this many books this year. I have, of course, a bunch of books on my to-read list, but I would always like, whenever I find the time, I read. But from the last few months of 2021, I was literally, if I was not working, or if I, my daughter was down and, I wasn't working on another project, or, talking to a friend, I would turn the TV off, and I would just say, what, I really want to, this is my time to read. And so I'm getting back into that, because it was something that I definitely enjoyed doing all throughout high school and in my young adult life was reading. So that's something that I make time for. I also enjoy binge watching TV. Sometimes, like, I have a couple shows that like I will literally just put on just for background noise. But then I also have some that, the ones that I keep in rotation are like A Different World. I watch that at least once or twice a year. I absolutely love A Different World.
Come on, Hillman. All right.
Yes, like, you couldn't tell me I didn't go to Hillman College. But yeah, sometimes just, binge watching TV, online shopping. or, or just lighting a candle and just, like I said, just kind of having some quiet time. I love the sound of rain. So I'll just kind of stick on my rain app, or my sounds app, and just kind of put the rain on and just kind of decompress sometimes. So those are just a few of the things that I go to for like self-care, intentional self-care.
Okay. All right. Well, no, I mean, and look, one of the main platforms my show prides itself on is mental health and self-care and things of that nature. So I'm dedicating my platform more to that. And I know sometimes as a creative, our mind is always going. Mine is going a million miles a minute. And like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm thinking about this. Oh, well, you know what? What about that? What about this? What about that? And when you're not, busy creating or working on a project or what have you, we all need that downtime. So everyone has a different method of self-care. So that's why I wanted to ask, like, how do you normally, take care of yourself and, like, in that time, find an inspiration to, think about the next project you're going to work on or what have you. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mental health is definitely something that I've become, huge on in the last, I'd say 2 years since I knew I was going to have my daughter, because I wanted her to know how to, heal, how to even start healing from past trauma if she ever, experienced any, or how to set boundaries, or, just kind of have an advocate for herself. So that's definitely something that, I want her to be able to see mommy did it. And I know how to do it now because I saw mommy do it. So, yeah.
Which is also goes back to that representation piece, okay? Because, she has to see you go through it. Now she's like, oh, well, my mom did this, or, my mom did that. So let me just do what my mom, I'm going to mirror what my mom did, and
right.
there it is, so, okay, come on now. Come on through. Now, if people, want to get the books, if people want to follow you on social media, if they want to go to your website, how can they do all of that?
So my website is cocobooks with an S store.com. So cocobooksstore.com. I am on Instagram as Mrs. _Dominique Turner. You can also follow the Instagram page for Coco Books. It's Coco Books Store. And then I'm also on TikTok as Mrs. _ Dominique Turner.
Okay, all right. Look, y'all better follow, okay? Get some books, leave great reviews, push all of the stars, y'all. Don't be on there like with the hat. Man, I didn't see that one right there. No, man, push all the stars, brother. All the stars. As a matter of fact, just go to the last one that on the corner and press that one. All of them will light up. There you go. Okay. Go ahead. All right. Help us out. Black business over here. Okay. That's what we do.
Black businesses.
All right. So, look, never mind me. But look, we have come to the last question, the question that my show is known for. So I'm going to present it to you. Miss Dominique Turner from the Natty, y'all. Okay. The Natty. Who they nation. Okay. Go Joe Burrow. That's all I got to say. All right. I'm going to leave that alone. What is the one word that best describes you and why?
I would say intentional.
Okay.
One thing about me, I think there are, no matter what, when it comes to my daughter or even my writing career or even just my personal relationships, my marriage, there are things that I kind of think through and think, intentionally about before I decide to do something. There are reasons. I think about the decision to go to therapy before I had my daughter to be able to kind of work through some of my past traumas. I think about, all of my writings are very personal to me and all kind of align with my personal experiences. And I think about those things like a waiting baby. There was a purpose for it. So I would say intentional. That would definitely be the word. That was a good question.
Well, hey, no problem at all. But I'm going to say my own word, fantastic. Okay. She's fantastic, y'all. Okay. Look, and this is why. Okay. Let's just go back over what we were talking about earlier. You and mom's coming up with the Dear Daughter children's book collaborative, or what have you. Man, your view on representation when it comes to, us, especially little black girls, okay? Awaiting baby, just to have the know-it-all to, be like, you know what? You need something to do, okay? Like, I already have something to do. I can talk to her anytime. Look, she here all the time, okay? Like, we can just have our own little powwow. You need your own thing. So, you providing that. Also, as you just said, going to therapy before all of this, just to get past all of the other things, that may, come into play later on. And you don't want that, you know what it is that you want. You know how you want it to go. So intentional, I believe, is perfect, you know what I'm saying? But it's also fantastic because you're just, look, the fact that you're even thinking that far ahead, like, look, I don't want this to be I don't want this to be anything less than great. And if great is me going to therapy, or if great is, you sitting up here, the dad playing the imaginary guitar, talking to the baby, that's okay though. I mean, but if it's that, then great, and that just makes you a fantastic person. And so that's my word. You can't take it from me because it's my show. All right. There it is, y'all. Mic drop. Boom. All right. No, seriously, I have enjoyed this conversation.
Likewise.
Look here, y'all. Coco Books Store. All right. Coco Books Store. Is that a .com, correct?
Yes.
.com. All right. Look here. Go on there, as I said before, leave that wonderful review, push all those stars, order these books, read them to your kids. Representation matters. They can see themselves. Reach out, follow her on TikTok, follow her on the gram. I know, we all on the gram, so go ahead and follow her on the gram, and make it a good day, y'all. And that's what it is. And on that note, yes, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can follow me all social media platforms at Word with Ty Brownlow, or go to my website, tybrownlow.com. Definitely get this wonderful conversation, plus other great conversations as well. Dominique Turner!
Yes.
We out, y'all. Peace.